I think we put way too much pressure on ourselves when we try to figure out God's calling upon our lives. We tend to want to analyze it and come up with scenarios and figure out every detail before we decide whether or not we're going to answer that call. When God created us, He created us with a specific call. Today we're going to look at one person from the Bible and how he responded to God's call. I pray that today's devotional will challenge each one of us to ask, so what is hindering me? Hi, and welcome to Take 5. My name is Lanita, Seay, and today's devotional topic is on, so what is hindering me? We are first introduced to Abram in Genesis 12:1. His name later was changed to Abraham. If you'd like to follow me, we're going to be reading Genesis 12:1 through 4. The Lord had said to Abram, "Leave your country, your people, your father's household, and go to the land I will show you. I will make you into a great nation, and I will bless you. I will make your name great, and you will be a blessing. I will bless those who bless you, and whoever curses you, I will curse, and all people will be blessed through you." In verse 4, it says, "So Abram left as the Lord had told him." We can identify with Abraham in many different ways. The first one being that Abraham was an ordinary man. There was nothing special or unique about him. In fact, we don't even know that Abraham was saved. We receive a clue about Abraham from Joshua 24:2 that says that Abraham's father worshipped many gods. So that leads us to believe that perhaps he grew up in an ungodly environment. The second thing is we know that we don't have to be a certain age. Abraham was 75 years old when God called him, and we don't know how long from the scriptures that God had been calling Abraham, but all we do know is that he had an encounter with God, and when he had that encounter with God, he emerged from that obedient. We don't have to have a lot of faith. Abraham just had a little bit of faith. We read on, if you'll read on in the story of Abraham, you'll find out that he made many mistakes. He wasn't a perfect man, but God took his obedience in going and took him through many trials and tests that strengthened and grew his faith. We don't have to know about the why, when, how, and where. Abraham didn't ask a lot of questions. We just know that in Hebrews 11:8, it says that Abraham went out not knowing where he was going. He didn't know how God was going to make him into a great nation, or how he was going to make his name great, or how God was even going to bless him. He just trusted God's word. God was very specific about what Abraham needed to leave behind. And I wonder if that's the very thing sometimes that hinders us from answering the call. I wonder if we're thinking about what we need to leave behind instead of what we'll gain from answering the call. All Abraham had was God's word from that encounter. God blessed him for his obedience and showed himself faithful to Abraham, and I know that he will show himself faithful to you too. We've all heard it said, God said it, I believe it, and that settles it. Has God been talking to you about your call? What's been hindering you from answering him? I hope that you've been encouraged today with Abraham. Remember, he was just an ordinary man. He didn't have to know the how, when, why, or where. He didn't have to be a certain age. God is just requiring just a little bit of faith and our obedience, and he will bless you for it. I hope you've been encouraged, and as always, you may email me with your questions or prayer requests at take5tuesday@gmail.com. Until next week, God bless you, and don't forget, take 5.